She was still a child when life handed her something no child should ever face. At only 12 years old, she became a mother. The world around her judged and whispered, but she didn't let the shame take away her future. Her grandmother and sister helped raise the child so she could hold on to the one thing that gave her strength: her music. Singing had always been the place where she could escape, heal, and share her heart. By 19, she married. And she thought she had found the love of her life. Instead, she found herself in another painful situation. Her husband, who was also her manager, hurt her, sometimes with words, sometimes with his fists. The bruises told a story of their own. But even in those dark moments, she refused to let him control her voice. After one fight, she was told not to return to a hotel. She went back anyway, stood on stage, and sang for 2 whole hours. Her songs rose above the pain, stronger than the silence people tried to force on her. She never pretended her life was easy. She faced pain most people could not imagine. But she also turned that pain into something powerful. Her voice became more than music. It was hope. It was courage. It was a reminder that even when life feels unbearable, we can still find a way to stand tall. As she once said, "It's the rough side of the mountain that's the easiest to climb. The smooth side doesn't have anything for you to hang on to." Those words belong to Aretha Franklin, the queen of soul. Aretha Franklin's life was never easy. A mother at 12, hurt in her marriage, judged by the world, yet she kept singing. Her voice carried strength, courage, and hope. She didn't fight back with fists or anger. She showed us something deeper. Calm isn't forced, it comes from within. Even when life disrespected her, she found her steadiness inside. And that's where we begin. Because calm is the foundation for every wise response. But here's the real question you need to explore from her story. What if other people's disrespect has nothing to do with you in the first place? When someone disrespects you, well, it's natural to tense up or snap back. But that reaction doesn't come from them. It comes from the storm of thought in your own mind. Calm isn't something that we push or we force. It shows up when you stop feeding that storm. When you see disrespect for what it is, someone else's state of mind in that moment. And when you see that, it loses its grip on you. And here's the key. Calm isn't weakness. It's clarity. From calm, you get new thinking. And new thinking gives you a new feeling. And that shift creates change. Perspective opens up. And from that perspective, you see creative solutions. Decisions that once felt complicated, well, they suddenly become obvious. Disrespect feels so personal. The words sting, the tone cuts deep, and it can feel like a direct hit to your worth. But here's the truth, most people never see. It's not about you at all. People act out of their own state of mind and their own insecure thinking. When someone is stressed, insecure, or caught up in their own cluttered thinking, well, it spills out. And their words are a reflection of their inner storm. They're not a measure of your value. And when you really see this, everything shifts. The sting fades because you realize you don't have to pick up what doesn't belong to you. You don't have to carry their pain as if it's yours. Disrespect stings in the moment, but sometimes the real pain comes later, and it comes from the story we attach to it. It's not just what was said, it's what we tell ourselves afterwards. We start thinking, they don't respect me. I'm always treated this way. I must not be good enough. And here's what most people miss. That hurtful comment or action happened in the past. It's over. And the only reason it still feels alive is because we keep replaying it in our minds. We keep thinking about it. And then we feel something, and those thoughts recreate the pain. Simply seeing this for what it is can loosen the grip of hurt. Because once you notice that the pain is being fueled by your current thinking, not by the past experience, you create space for relief, perspective, and even peace. Think about the last time you were triggered. Maybe your partner rolled their eyes or interrupted you or brushed off something you cared about. And in an instant, you felt that flare of emotion, anger or hurt or defensiveness. Now, most of us believe the trigger itself caused the feeling. But here's the cool part. Feelings are shadows of thought. That emotion is simply reflecting what you're thinking in that moment. And that makes triggers really valuable. And this is really cool. They're like a barometer or a compass. They show you where your thinking is off, or where it's hooked, or where it's caught up. So instead of seeing thoughts as a problem and triggers as a problem, you can see them as a signal. Because once you notice the thought behind the feeling, you open the door to new thinking. And new thinking creates a new feeling. And suddenly, what once sent you spinning, well, it doesn't have the same grip. And you feel just a bit lighter, a little clearer, a little more resilient. Once you've experienced that calmer feeling, and you know it's real, you can return to it. The sticky stories, they may show up still, but you don't have to live in them. You can let them pass, and you can move on a little bit quicker. And from this place, boundaries stop looking like something you set to hold people out. And they become the natural result of living from happiness and joy and peace and love. I think of boundaries as a way for me to see the world clearly. They're not about restricting how someone else lives or who I let in or who I can talk to when. They're more about how I choose to live with self-respect, peace, and happiness. And when I'm grounded there, I can see new perspectives. We make choices that honor our well-being, and boundaries are no longer about defense tactics. They're more about clarity in action. I've helped many couples find their own path to deeper meaning and connection in their relationships and in their lives. So if this resonated with you, I want to give you the next steps to start rebuilding that connection and partnership, one simple step at a time. You're not the problem. Thinking you are, that's the real troublemaker. Perspective gives you new creative thinking and clarity. And from that clarity, decisions that once felt complicated suddenly become obvious. But here's the thing, clarity alone won't save you from the storm in your head. That storm isn't random. It's patterned, predictable, and not what you think it is. In the next video, I'll show you why that matters and how to step out of it. And if you're ready to take the next step right now, check the links in the description below. You can book a call with me or explore more resources to help you find the clarity that you need and are looking for. If seeing things differently made you feel just a bit lighter, keep going. Because in the next video, you'll find out why letting go of control and seeing things clearly can quiet anxiety and help you feel strong again.